What up, everyone? This is Mr. Lord, Dr. Professor, Dark Joker, here with another edition of Traditional Fans with Opinions, where I'll give my reviews for whoever I watched, read, or played today. And who are Traditional Fans with Opinions? That is myself, and that is you, the viewers. With all that being said, on with the reviews. God Powers, Episode 5. So in this one, so Russ as Chad is trying to do like interviews for College Game Day for a segment. Basically, he as Chad, he's acting very awkward about it. So it's not very polished. He's not necessarily you want to interview. Obviously, he just comes off as a retard. And Coach Hudson says basically him being so authentically not the most polished is why people like him. Now the NIL lady doesn't think so. She wants him to be like, he'll polish, be good for in interviews. Coach is like, we got games to play. Yeah, and then basically because college game day is, I guess, heading into is like about to be in South Georgia because basically South Georgia is preparing to at 5-0 is preparing to go against the number one team, the Georgia Bulldogs, who are of course, that's the team that Chad lost to, that Russ lost to in the championship at Oregon. So that should be interesting. So basically, frustrated with how things are going well for Chad, not so much for Russ. Russ goes to a bar and hooks up with some lady that approaches him there inside his Cybertruck. So basically, when the lady tells Russ that everyone deserves to be happy, Russ decides to just permanently become Chad. He doesn't want to be Russ anymore. He even has an idea of maybe having someone permanently alter his appearance and then erase his digital profile as Russ. But then the next day, Chad goes to the Coach Hudson's Lake House for another interview that they can do for college game day. So it's revealed that the woman he was banging inside his Cybertruck was Hudson's wife, Wendy, who cheats on Hudson a lot, apparently with a trainer. So I'm guessing that's meant to be a sole reference to the Tom Brady divorce. I'm guessing. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure it's a reference to Tom Brady. And then, so the interview goes bad. Like Chad just feeling very awkward about having banged the coach's wife. Then, of course, like Wendy, who hasn't been there for a while, like she has not been seeing the show at all. I guess she doesn't show up to the house a lot. She like basically everyone who's there to do the interview, they all leave, and so basically, Hudson and Wendy then have an argument. Wendy says that basically Wendy's mad that Hudson has to do his job because he basically the way college football works these days, there is no off season for coaches. There is no off season. Like you have to keep your players, you have to coach the players because there's a lot of. I'll just straight up say it. There's a freaking entitlement generation in sports. So unfortunately, coaches gotta deal with that, so they don't do transfer portal. It's like, oh, I didn't get the starting job because I suck. I'm gonna transfer to the portal like a little pussy. I mean that's unfortunately that's how it is. Now some people coaches are just bad. Players are like I need to get better coaches. That's one thing. Transfer portal has so many problems. Anyway, so and then Hudson brings up to Wendy how all her affairs, like the trainer, basically he learned about it due to all the cameras in the house. And then Wendy basically says that she was banging Russ the night before, and Hudson gets mad because basically when South Georgia tried to recruit him, Russ, um, basically he knew that Russ was uh not a good idea. Yeah, yeah. And there's a whole bit. And there's a funny bit beginning where Chad's trying to get used to signing autographs. He's used to signing as Russ. So when some kid with leukemia tries to get him to sign football, he just like laughs off as like, yeah, he just likes to color in lines and stuff. So that's how he does. He says that's how he does his autograph. So he just colored for a while. Basically, it honestly, this sounds like something Chad with his retardation would do. And then like it's so funny. So yeah, beginning there's such funny stuff. Like beginning bit where the first interview, he's asked like Chad's asked why he plays football. He says for Ben Franklin because he keeps the lights out. Then when he tries to redo it, he vomits out nurses and gets out during the interview. And so yeah, so basically, and then yeah, so there's like, dude, it's so funny. So basically, yeah, and then so that whole argument, like that whole argument, it's dang, it's so funny. And then yeah, so yeah, so mhm. Basically it's a whole. It then like there's a bit where Jake Hudson's he starts having trouble breathing and he tells Ricky to call 911 because he's having a heart attack. Yeah, so yeah, this bit was funny. So the whole bit there's like a funny beginning of Danny, the mascot, who's like now Chad's roommate, singing Reflection from Mulan, even trying to do dancing. Then like Russ randomly sings it, I guess after baiting Wendy. Dude, it's freaking funny. There's a whole bit where I guess it looks like based on Bruce, the Hudson family might find out what's going on. And like how they're gonna handle it, I don't know. Because obviously Hudson's career's on the line. And then yeah, so I like this episode. That was freaking funny. Like I was laughing about it. So yeah, I really like this episode. Looking forward to the next one. Watson season 2 episodes 1 and 2. So somehow this got another season, and I didn't know it had aired. It started until like, well, late last week. I was like, wait, season 2 already started? It's still the same year. Yeah, I wonder if they're just trying to get it out quick. Like, just get it done quick. Like, well, I mean, I don't know if it's something like, I don't know. I don't even know why it's got a second season. First season sucked. If I wasn't reviewing it, I wouldn't watch it. So anyway, so the first episode, so Mary's mother Elizabeth collapses while she's baking. Mary was on the phone with her and calls Watson, who's on a date with Lila. So Watson calls in his his crew, calls in all his people, and then like basically they try to help Elizabeth. It's revealed to be accidental cyanide poisoning from like basically over injection of bitter almond extract. and basically, that's treated, but then Elizabeth starts having some memory issues where she can't recognize, like, basically all her memories from after she was 25 are like missing. And so the team does have a neurologist because Watson hasn't had a who he considers to be a suitable replacement for Ingrid. And so basically Elizabeth starts thinking she's pregnant with a boy, but Barry believes she's an only child. So basically Watson recognizes after seeing some of her handwriting as a rare hepatic encephalopathy, which is like some cirrhosis, which means so basically her condition's reversible. And now apparently Ingrid is somewhat of a patient in the area. Basically, she goes to therapy to deal with her antisocial personality disorder. Yeah. So Ingrid goes to a U-Hop, where the frick that is, and has an awkward interaction with some of the Holmes Clinic workers. Now Elizabeth gets a urinary tract infection, which requires a liver transplant to treat. Mary can't donate her liver. And Elizabeth asks her son named Miles, so Watson finds Elizabeth's long lost son, which means which would also mean that guy named Miles, who would also be Mary's long lost brother. Basically, like Miles runs a bakery, did not know about what happened. It's revealed that Elizabeth had come by every day to the bakery, basically, and convinced him to not to keep his business, and basically, that led to the business becoming successful. So Miles is willing to donate his liver. Then he introduces Mary Elizabeth to his own wife and kids, and then basically, then so now Shinwell, who Ingrid had almost got killed, um, yeah. So basically, he's convinced to forgive Ingrid for almost getting him killed, intentionally almost getting him killed. After some of the other, so basically the team then recommends to Watson to rehire Ingrid. Now, I would not do that because, well, I mean, considering some of the stuff she did, gosh, it's like, with stuff with Shinwell, like, Shinwell at least he did a lot more to make up for what he did, and so then 2 weeks later, Watson and Lila are getting it on. Watson hears an intruder, and it's really be Sherlock who's somehow alive. And so Watson tries to figure out how Holmes faked his death. So Holmes gradually tells him. So then he asks Watson about his day. Watson explains that earlier in the day there was some infection from a like basically there's some flu-like symptoms doing some thawed woolly mammoths and permafrost in Siberia. It's believed that this group that was exploring there got a what's called a zombie virus, basically a pathogen that had been extinct for a while and is now back. So they're trying to investigate. There's issues of quarantine, all that, and there's all concerns about like basically a potential epidemic. Then Sasha, who's adopted, thrilled that after learning about stuff with Mary's family. She tried to learn about her own birth family. She was contacted by her long lost uncle, and then Watson comes across Ingrid, but they both when so one guy named Rob Mallory, who was one of the members of the biology team, dies from cardiac arrest. They end up allegedly infected with their quarantine, and then the press learns about what's going on. Then patients are interviewed, and then yeah, Stevens, who's screwing Sasha, tells Sasha to reach out to her uncle, just like at least look and see what if she wants to learn about her family. Basically, so after some tests, it's revealed that typhoid fever is what's infected people. That's poison, and so then so basically Watson had first assumed that um, the Dr. Woodward was that Professor Woodward was the one who did it to help her cause like her global warming stuff, whatever, like and how it could affect pathogens and all that. Then Watson, well, Holmes and the president, Holmes tells Watson how he's about he he basically manipulated James Moriarty and a colonel named Stapleton, which is Stapleton. That name's a reference to the Hound of Baskerville. Yeah, the Hound of Baskervilles, one of the novels. Basically, he tricked them into fighting and to kill each other, and then so he could then fake his death. But Watson, thinking Holmes had fallen to the falls, jumped after him to catch him. Then Holmes jumped in to save Watson. Then Holmes reveals that, based on Watson's tale, that Nate Hermanson was the actual culprit, not Woodward. Watson apologizes to Woodward and helps her brother get into the clinic, and then Watson decides to rehire Ingrid. Sasha then meets her uncle. Then Holmes appears at the clinic in disguised. Watson tries to figure out what Holmes is trying to do. Holmes says he's trying to figure out who stole the world and says he's going to do a third act surprise, whatever that means. Basically, he has some issues with his brother, who I guess bought him out of the business, which is why he's rich. Yeah. So yeah, I did not like this. One, here's the thing: they're setting up Holmes. They're setting up Sherlock Holmes being evil. I do not like that. I mean, I don't like the whole Sherlock Holmes thing they're doing. I mean, one putting in America in the present day, no, it should be late 1800s, early 1900s, UK, in London. That's what it should be. Now, I will say Robert Carlyle, honestly, that could be a good choice for Sherlock Holmes. That's actually not a terrible choice for Sherlock Holmes, as far as the casting is concerned. But I feel like it's wasted. Like, like there's nothing to care about. Like, when Holmes says that, like, about the Watson's divorce with Bear, he's like, well, yo, Watson, she's a baby. That's like a little meta comment about the books. I'm like, short stories. I'm like, well, yeah. Overall, I did like these episodes. And bringing Ingrid back, I was like, I thought they were gonna get rid of her, or at least have her be away from everything. Like, if they're gonna bring her back, do more setup. Actually, show her like working things out before you bring it. That may be an of season thing to like allow, but no, she tried to kill one of the team members. Like, Shinwo wasn't doing that. Like Shinwo made plenty of mistakes. Um, that I don't like it. I'm I'm I don't think I'm not a fan of it. I don't like these episodes. I don't like the idea of an evil Sherlock Holmes. That is gonna piss a lot of people off. So yeah, I don't like these, but I'll watch the next one. And that's it. Did, did y'all like the stuff I reviewed? And if you have your own opinions about all that, you can put all that in the comments. Thank you for watching, and like, subscribe, and all that. And look forward to the next video.